Welcome back to another Schizospiracy, the Maga Burrito Hour, number 7. It's that time of the month. Good to see everyone. Welcome everyone in the chat and any moderators and channel members out there. To anyone that's listening to the replay, thanks for joining us. We are coming to you live on YouTube and X and on Juan's channel as well. The Clockwork Shining is now available on Tubi. So anywhere you can download the Tubi app, you can now watch my documentary, A Clockwork Shining, on Tubi. So even if you've seen it already, watch it again on Tubi. I have the link pinned to the top of the chat, and it is also in the description. I am currently working on the new documentary, so shows are going to be a little sparse for the next couple of months. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. But going to do this one with my buddy Juan here because we made the plans. We do it once a month. And with that down, we're now introducing the co-host of the Schizospiracy, the Maga Burrito Hour, host of the One-on-One podcast, the one, the only Juan Ayala. Welcome back to the show. How's it going, brother?
Is this thing on?
It's on, man.
I forgot how to work it, bro. It's been so long. It's been about a month since I did the last episode. What's up, dude?
Bro, Juan is on real life shit. Juan, you on that real life shit, bro?
On that real life shit, yeah, bro. I've been busy trying to make it out here. You know how it is. But I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always a good time. Got a lot of people in the chat already. It's good to see you, bro. Good to see you for the number 7. This is number 7, dude.
7 months already since we started. Time flies.
It does. It does fly. And I told you to watch, well, I didn't tell you. I asked you to watch this new show on MGM Plus called The Institute. And someone had reached out to me because they knew that I was making a documentary that's essentially what this show is about. And they were like, have you watched The Institute? We're going to be doing a show about The Institute. It was on Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis, one of the biggest radio shows out there. And they asked me on, and I was like, no, I hadn't even heard of The Institute. So then I sat down and started watching it, and it's by Stephen King. He wrote this novel in 2019, and then they just made this series about the novel here recently in July. I think it started in June, but episodes come out every single week on Sundays. And I started watching it, and I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit, this is exactly like what my documentary is about. I was kind of mind blown. And also all of the references to Stanley Kubrick within the show is also very interesting because Stephen King did not like Stanley Kubrick. He didn't like his vision for his novel, The Shining. And
they had a beef with that, right?
A lot of beef. And it's just so interesting how they have a lot of the stuff from The Shining in there. I mean, of course, Stephen King did write the book, and a lot of the things that are in the book is also in the movie, but a lot of things that are not in the book are also in the movie, and vice versa, right? And, it's time to shine. There's posters all over this show that says it's your time to shine. It's the day to shine. You have the twins in there. You have the checkerboard floor symbolizing the duality, the black and the white, the Masonic checkerboard floor. And what's really
confirmed.
What's really interesting about this is that it's on MGM Plus, right? And it's essentially about, these children that are kidnapped and abducted out of their homes, and then they're put into this program that's called the Institute. But through my research, there was actual school programs in California that was called MGM, but it stood for Mentally Gifted Minds. Okay, so coincidence? Might be a coincidence. I don't know, but the real life abduction stuff is very real. That really does happen, but for sort of a different reason. It's parents was really big in like the into the 80s, into the 90s, and then into the early 2000s, like teen behavioral modification camps and schools. Happened in Utah, it happened in upstate New York in this place called Ivy Ridge. There's a whole
There's a
document.
documentary on that. I've seen that
Yes.
recently.
And it's very real. The people's parents would pay this company and this organization to come and abduct their kid out of their house, blindfold them, put them in the back of an SUV, and then they would take them to this facility. And they would be there until they were 18 or they, graduated the institute, right? So, and what they described was something very similar to like mind control and MK Ultra, like what they had been going through. And Ivy Ridge in upstate New York, it's called the Academy at Ivy Ridge. They would be brainwashed and mind controlled. They would be forced to listen to Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey every single morning. So there's all these connections that are going on here. But this show is almost like verbatim, like what, even down to the very end of the show and what they're trying to accomplish is what I have theorized has actually been going on for a really long time. So it was kind of like, holy shit. What did you think? I know you're only in the first episode, but what did you think so far? I know you're not very deep into it, and I just had to watch it all. As soon as I watched the first episode, I watched every episode that was out that night. Couldn't stop.
I'm almost done with episode 2, so I'll be going on to episode 3. But isn't this like I asked you about the whole McUltra stuff, right? Where wasn't a majority of the stuff about finding, I don't know if kids, probably, right? Because it's all about the kids and stuff. People with telekinesis and telepathy and all this other stuff. Wasn't there like a large majority? Because my friend Emily Moyer, she's doing like a whole breakdown of the lesser known McUltra files, which, and then recently I saw, well, for a while, not recently, people talking about the telepathy tapes. Did you ever look into that with the kids and stuff?
I've heard a lot of people talk about it. It's apparently Joe Rogan has made it really popular. I mean, I've heard
Is
him
that
talk
one
about
guy,
it
Ian
several times,
Carroll?
but no, I have not listened to it.
Well, I haven't listened to it either, but apparently it's about, again, I could be in this totally wrong. Autistic kids and or like get special needs kids, but they're actually because we've heard this before, like autistic kids are super smart in their own way. Well, what if they are like smarter than smart because their brain, people with schizophrenia and stuff like that, their brains work a little bit differently. They're wired differently. And what if the voices are actually right real and they're not hallucinating, and then just they get pumped full of all these things in order to suppress that, right? That's the whole conspiracy, that they can actually tap into some sort of sixth sense, if you will, and see beyond the veil. And this particular show, I told you it's kind of already been done, right? You got like X-Men and things like that, where it's a group of people who have special powers and they get recruited by some shady government agency or whatever it is, some 3-letter agency, and they get used for I don't know what yet because I haven't gotten that far. But that's why I said it's kind of already been done a little bit. But you're saying it goes deeper into like McUltra territory, and it's making me think about the lesser known programs, because McUltra was a ton of documents. It wasn't just one thing. People talk about Midnight Climax and all these different parts of it, but it goes way deep. There was a ton, over 100 different sub projects behind that umbrella. But people talk about McUltra as like a more of an umbrella term when it's actually a bunch of sub projects behind that. So is that what you're getting at? Because what's your documentary about? The newest one.
It's going to be about the government psychic spy program, and it's going to wrap in a lot of the experimentation on children in public schools. So, yeah, you're right. There's 149 sub projects.
Yeah.
Now, Richard Helm ordered the CIA. He was the director of the CIA at the time. Ordered that the MK Ultra documents all be destroyed.
Of course.
So the only reason that we have any of the documentation on the MK Ultra projects was because it was found inside of some financial documents that weren't destroyed by the CIA. But a lot of the sub projects were destroyed, and we don't have any evidence of them. But there are 4 MK Ultra sub-projects that were 100% just dedicated to psychic research. So they were trying to find out if trauma and drugging of people would unlock some sort of cognitive ability in the minds of people. And that's what those 4 sub projects, I can't name them off the top of my head because there's so many different ones and they're just named MK Ultra sub project 42, sub project 45. It's not like they actually have code names for them. So it's just sub project blah, 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 blah. But there's also sub projects that were done just on children. There's 3 of those MK Ultra sub projects that were dedicated just to the study on children. One of them was a camp that they brought all kinds of children from different ethnicities into this summer camp and then studied them and how they interacted with each other, basically, shepherding and herding them into a certain occupation for them in the long run. And that's kind of what I originally thought that a lot of this school testing stuff was also designed for, right? They were trying to find young kid assets to put into positions of power based on their cognitive abilities. I mean, several people have remembered going through really strange tests whenever they were younger in public school. And the thing that is triggering a lot of people is that voice that's like, you should be hearing this in your right ear.
Yeah.
But that is a Monroe Institute gateway tape. So how did the Monroe Institute gateway tapes get into public schools in the 90s and into the early 2000s, right? So they had to have some sort of contract with Monroe Institute to put these tapes inside of schools. And then I have the document, the Sunstreak document, that was the government psychic spy program and went through many different iterations and many different name changes since its inception in 1978 until 1999. But one of them was Sunstreak before it was changed to the Stargate Project. And in it, it says that the Chinese were studying children for psychic abilities, and that SRI International, which was the Stanford Research Institute, was responsible for like the scientific research on remote viewing and psychic abilities that were contracted by the government and by the CIA, by Army intelligence, and by the Air Force later on. It says underneath it that SRI was trying to duplicate these studies that the Chinese were doing on children.
Did you recently get a new mic writer?
Yes.
Someone's saying, can you take some of the bass out of it? Or is that your voice? Is that your sexy voice that has too much bass in it?
That's just my sexy voice.
All right, I don't know. Somebody said the low end, right? I got too much low end. Take some of that bass frequency. I don't know if you can. What do you want, a Roadcaster?
Yeah.
I mean, you can in the settings.
Yeah, I don't know how to mess with it right now.
It's all good.
For
the next one
that I would jerk with and probably completely screw it up.
Then your real voice would be,
I'll just try and get a little bit further away from the mic.
Yeah, it's all good. So
yeah, I got too much low end, bro. I got too much junk in my trunk, bro.
Balls are too big.
Booties are popping.
The balls drop too far, bro. You got to bring them up a little bit. Go ahead and just tie them off a little bit. So, dude,
I don't know if I would mess with my fader. Would my fader have anything to do with it?
No, it'll literally say bass frequency. It'll be under. If you go to the home, you go to the little. Oh God. You go to sound, advanced audio processing. No, man, fuck them. They can listen to it how it is now.
What Rodecaster do you have? Do you have the big channel one? I only have the 4-channel one. 4-channel.
I got the first gen. It's got the 4 channels on it.
Oh, so you got the exact same one that I have. Maybe you can help me after we're done because I need a little help with it.
We'll work on it. So, what is your thoughts on, like, because we hear about this shit all the time about the government trying to find, because when I was growing up in high school and I believe middle school, they had the gifted program. And the gifted program was, right, oh, they're too smart for their own good, so they go to these special classes every so often. And I had a friend of mine who would have to go after lunch, I remember, and it was like a whole separate building just for him and like other kids. And it reminds me kind of like this, like the whole show opens up with the kid being finishing the test way before everybody else and being super smart. And they're like, is it hard being too smart? He's like, well, I don't know, right? Like that whole archetypal storyline of this dude's way smart, like genius level type of smart. And I remember growing up having friends, because I was too stupid to be in those classes, right? Like I'm too basic, so I would never be in it. But I knew people who weren't, and I always wondered, like, what are they doing here? And how you're saying, maybe are they actually recruiting? Is that how it works in intelligence, that they go to these public schools and they'll pick out people to kind of groom them, maybe like for like future use, some Manchurian candidate type shit?
That's what I originally believed was going on, was that they were testing these kids, and because everyone that I've talked to that was a part of all the people that I know that I've asked about this has ended up in some branch of the military or working for the intelligence community.
Mm.
So it's like, are they grooming them for the future and to be an asset for the government later in the future? I mean, that kind of seems like what it is on like a smaller level. And then with the psychic stuff, I because a lot of people remember drinking like a substance,
Drinking
right?
stuff too?
Yeah, drinking like a fluid. Some people say that it was a pink fluid. Other people say that it was a yellow fluid, but they remember having to drink some sort of substance. And then they were asked all these questions. They were given like flashcards. They would be asked, what's on this flashcard before they would be able to see it or what it was revealed. They remember things with like doing stuff with like ropes, like Rorschach test, like and this could be like played off as like ADHD testing and stuff like that. But I think that it's a little bit more. I think it's deeper than that. But it does seem because some people have been like, oh, they've just been subjected to ADHD testing, which hey, I'm not ruling that out. Maybe that might be a possibility too. But I don't know any ADHD testing that would require you to use some sort of like someone asking you what's going to be next on the flashcard before you actually see what's on the flashcard. Like that's like that's like psychic uh precognitive testing,
Yeah.
and that's the goal with this show is that they're trying to find a I mean they have it in three separate categories. So they have PK, TK, and
Mhm.
PC. So it's telekinesis, then like essentially reading minds, like being psychic, reading someone else's minds, reading their thoughts. And then PC is precognitive. So precogs can see things that are going to happen in the future. That's what the PC means. Whenever they're talking about, oh, we stopped the testing for PC because it's so volatile, or whatever that they're talking about in the show.
Mhm.
But that's what PC means is precognitive. So once you get further into the show, you'll kind of really realize exactly what they're doing. Because I mean, they show you, but I knew what they were doing before they actually showed you what they were doing because it's what I've believed that they had been doing. I just didn't have any evidence that they were doing it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna be really hard to top Severance, because Severance was such a well done show, and it was like kind of it wasn't, I wouldn't say like fresh, because right, it kind of falls in line. But what they did towards like the end with it, it kind of caught me off guard with like the future and everything going back and forth and blah blah blah, like that kind of stuff caught me off guard. But when I saw this, I'm like, all right, well, we'll see where it goes. But I wouldn't doubt that, right? Because we can get more woo woo with it, because even Fritz Springmeier's work, uh, how the Illuminati create an undetectable mind controlled slave. I believe that's the name of the book. He goes into detail about how they fracture people, right? And allegedly, they're able to fracture somebody and give them multiple personalities within one person, and they're able to activate those different personalities with different things, right? And then you use your imagination as to what they use these people for. I mean, it's the most heinous things you can think about, but it kind of falls along those lines. Now, what I don't appreciate about Fritz Springmeier's work is that it's very sensational. It's very you can't really prove what they're saying. A lot of these people who come out that talk about like I was an Illuminati mind controlled slave. It's like usually what's that one guy who got caught lying about going to the moon to sign some paperwork? You know who I'm talking about. What's that guy's name?
Corey Good.
Corey Good. It's like one of those where like I was actually probed in the ass by aliens in the moon at a base they had because I had to sign a mortgage for blah blah blah. It's like, do you have any proof? It's like not really. It's like, why would they take you to the moon and sign? Why couldn't they just do it downtown, bro? In some
Well,
back
like
alley.
they could, and but that's what a lot of this secret space program, I personally believe, is to fictionalize something real that did and may have actually happened. It's to make it so wacky and nonsensical. That's why it's
Yes.
wrapped up with the Montauk Project. That's why it's been wrapped up with the Q stuff and the children and the saving. It's all been made out to be super wacky and not believable, so that something real that could have happened within all of the bullshit nonsense is then swept under the rug because it's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? They'll be like, "Oh yeah, well, that's all wrapped up in this fake, made up, nonsensical garbage."
I agree with you on that. Like the whole that was one of the other things about Fritz Springmeier where he talked about, oh, when when the kids like, oh, Ronald McDonald and the Chuck E. Cheese mouse or whatever were in my room last night, right? And they were making me do stuff. It's like, here goes this kid again with his wild imagination. When in reality, it's how you're saying, like, and this ties into the whole UFO stuff too, because didn't they like put monkeys or something like that? They made it look like there was a monkey in it. So when they're like, "What'd you see?" I saw a flying saucer, and who was and I saw somebody in it. Who was in it? A monkey. It's like, oh, you're full of shit. Like you don't know what you're talking about, and like it's kind of to discredit the person seeing it. But in my opinion, like if they were this good at everything, why would they even get caught in the first place to begin with? You get what I'm saying? Like some regular
That's the thing is
redneck
that
saw them.
it's highly illegal to experiment on any children. Okay, it's
100%.
highly illegal. If you got caught up in any kind of way, you're going down. Like the whole thing is going to be completely shut down.
Not if you're the
So,
CIA.
so if that was the case and something was going on that could have been able to expose it, what better way than to throw in a bunch of nonsensical garbage about space and freaking mind control and fighting aliens and time travel and wild and crazy telekinesis, 20 and back program. I mean, that's the easiest way to cover it all up because it's lumped in with so much nonsense that can't be proven, right? And testimony by people that obviously have some sort of mental illness or involved in some sort of live action role playing LARP.
We got
I
some
mean,
aliens
that's
right
the
now.
easiest way to do it, and it's proven that that's the way that they do it with ufology. Exactly what they did. There was something real there, but it was the military. There
Yeah.
was experimental military craft, experimental drones, and then they just fed the public a bunch of information about extraterrestrial, and that's the way that they covered up that it was our own technology. It's the exact same thing here. The easiest way to cover up some experimentation on children that you may or may not have been doing is to turn it into something super wacky and something that's unbelievable.
That's why I say it's alien gaze and not alien grays, right? Because it's been fake and gay since the very beginning. It's like, where are we going with this? Like, I don't know where we're going, especially with the whole UFO thing. But again, it seems like it makes me wonder, bro, how much, right? Because we hear this over and over again, right? Aliens and stuff, illegal aliens, right? Like we hear that. and also all the kids that go missing every year, and like how much of it is blamed on these illegal aliens. I wonder how much of that is actually the government like behind it, like behind some of these covert operations of like, oh look, he went missing. How many kids a year? But like 800,000 or some crazy number like that. And I heard that like 95% of them come back, but still that's a big number. What about the ones that don't come back? Right? What about those? Where did those go? And like it's easy to blame it on like, oh, trafficking. I'm not saying that's not real. I 100% believe in that. But you got to also take into account how much of these three-letter agencies are even behind that. And then they disguise it as, oh, it's trafficking. Yeah, probably is, but maybe those people have connections with the people who do that, right? The three-letter agencies, and they take a cut of the people coming in for other extracurricular activities, because we know the whole Project Paperclip thing, bro. Like, bro, Von Braun was doing some heinous shit, and he was at the top of our space program for a long time. That dude should have been tried for crimes against humanity, and he wasn't. He was what, the head guy at NASA or wherever it was for a while, developing rockets and whatever else they were doing, all the fake and gay shit that they were doing. That dude should have been tried for crimes against humanity for the stuff that he did. But instead, the government took him in along with a whole bunch of other guys from that era and put him to work. You think that they just got over that whole stuff overnight? Like, oh, let's stop. Well, I'm gonna be quiet because some people deny that whole thing happened. I'm a Civil War denier, so you can deny that, but you can't deny the other one.
Well, here's the thing too, is like whenever you start talking about stuff like that, it's like you get lumped into the Q stuff, the QAnon thing, because that's what it was all revolved around, was like save the children, the children are being trafficked and all that. And Deacon Bean Cooter here, Cooter Tooter, said hella kids disappeared in Utah, Idaho, and Montana, which is, it's just a coincidence that Utah is where a lot of these behavioral modification schools and these behavior modification for troubled teen camps,
Skinwalker Ranch too, right?
Happened in Utah, and they started in Utah. Provo Canyon, where is one of the it's been shut down now, but it was one of the biggest teen behavioral modification schools in the United States. Paris Hilton went there.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's like, oh, okay. Okay.
Someone said Mormons. Like, I wanted to say that too, right? The Mormons, because they're real big in Utah. It's like, how much of that? Because think like, yeah, I'm not going to disrespect anyone's religion. You can believe whatever crazy shit you want to believe in. I don't really care. But some religions are pretty ridiculous, and I'm like, who would ever believe in that? Like, who would ever believe? Who would ever fall for that? And like, I'm thinking about how many religions there are that are just tests, right? To see how much bullshit someone can believe, right? That's just a precursor, and you're put into religion since the very beginning of your life. Like, you're conditioned into that since the very beginning. And I think that there are a lot of religions, Mormonism being one of them, where it's like, you really believe this dude was talking to, what was he talking to, a salamander, and what else was he talking to, bro? A rooster or some shit? What were the two? A frog and a salamander? You hear about that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, the AI thing now is like getting crazy. Like, I read this article the other day, how, Prophet, it was like how AI Jesus chatbots prey upon Christians.
What?
Yeah, they're creating like Jesus chatbots where people can talk to Jesus through freaking AI, bro. Like a chat GPT Jesus.
Have you talked to the Velociraptor on one of those?
Do they really have one like that?
Yeah, I did like 2 episodes on the Velociraptor.
See, here it is right here.
Funny.
How profit-driven AI Jesus chatbots prey upon prayer-driven Christians. We're getting a call from Jesus Christ right now. Inside the rise of robot saviors competing for believers.
Yikes. Yeah, that's the thing. Some people, right? Religion, I think, is healthy in because it gives people structure. It gives people, it's part of a society, part of a civilization. So it gives structure and order to something, right? The problem is when it turns into a cult and they start making you do some weird shit, like wearing magical underwear and all that stuff, right? That they don't like to talk about, but it's true. And I think that some people are so desperate and they're so brainwashed that they want to seek that wherever they can. So when somebody goes, "Oh, this must be Jesus," right, talking to me, right? And it's like, is it? Because now you're just being delusional. Now you're just being like I don't want to call you a crazy person, but you're being crazy to think that. And then again, profit driven. So profit like money. Are they charging people for active monthly users? How much are they charging these people for this subscription to talk to Jesus Christ himself?
The phenomenon is attracting significant attention from curious and devout users alike. One app, Ask Jesus, reports gaining 30,000 active monthly users within the days of launching. And when its visitors open AI Jesus, they are greeted with words, "Greetings, my dear friend, it is I, Jesus Christ. I have come to you in this AI form to provide wisdom, comfort, and teachings in the way of God and the Bible and Jesus Christ himself." I feel like this is a really good one for the older generation, like 60 and above. They would eat this up. They would eat this up, bro.
Hold on here. Let's ask Jesus a question. Here, pull my screen up real quick.
Oh, you got the Jesus bot?
Askjesus.com. No,
Oh, boom.
askjesus.me. You can type to hi, I'm Jesus. Ask me anything. Bro, what? Korean? What? All right, what do you want to ask Jesus? Why were we created? No. Are aliens real? Is he gonna ask me for my credit card? Here we go. Talking to Jesus Christ himself right now. See response.
You're gonna have to pay, bro.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. What? Are aliens real? Word of life. Where's the answer? Yes or no? Ah, dear seeker of truth, as we traverse the vast expanse of the universe, we often find ourselves pondering the mysteries that lie beyond our earthly abode. The question of whether other sentient beings exist among the stars is one that has intrigued humankind for generations. In the Holy Scriptures, we are reminded of the majority and wonder of creation, Psalms, blah, blah, blah. While the Bible does not explicitly mention extraterrestrial life, it does speak on to the vastness of God's creation and his sovereignty over all things. Our faith encourages us to approach such mysteries with both wonder and humility, trusting in the. All right, bro. Ultimately, the presence or absence of other life forms in the universe does not diminish the beauty and purpose of our own existence. Instead, let us focus on the love and grace bestowed upon us by our Creator and strive to live lives that reflect His glory and compassion. So it like completely skirts the question and doesn't answer. Help me. I want to know if one day Bitcoin will hit 1 million. All right. I'm done with this shit. So AI Jesus is not. I mean, I could have asked ChatGPT instead. Whatever. It completely just like it did like some reverse psychology, right? And it turned it like around to fit some scripture or something, which is usually what they do, right?
Yeah, according to the Bible, AI Jesus has to constantly quote the Bible.
You want to hear this prayer?
Yeah, bro.
God our Father, thank you for the wonders of your creation. As we ponder the mysteries of the universe, including the existence of aliens, grant us wisdom and understanding. Help us to trust in your divine plan and to seek truth with open hearts. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. All right, so I guess when Jesus doesn't know if there's aliens or not.
Rob Oz, does Jesus take Bitcoin?
I'm sure he's got a crypto wallet address. You can send him some Ethereum to get your answer quicker. I don't see a subscription for this, bro. About us.
There's got to be some kind of micro charge or whatever. Just like Chat GPT, you can only ask it so many questions in a day. You can only converse with it so many times.
Oh, bro, this is Korean. This is Korean.
It was made in Korea.
Yeah. So you go to the about us. I always knew Korean Jesus was real. And boom, right here. That's them. That's the page. We Bible is a Christian app website that supports Christians in their faith journey with Bible-based Q&A, daily study and prayer, and smart search. We Bible offers personalized guidance powered by AI technology. It revolutionizes how users access biblical interpretations and prayers, operating primarily in South Korea as Nchowon. Damn, dude, right here. We Bible, known as Chewon in Korea, I can read Korean, with 50 users and now serves over 30,000 monthly users. So I guess they're not paying for it. I think within
It's
3
just
days of its launch.
extrapolating your data to write the code of AI Jesus.
Yeah, pretty much. It gained over 50,000 active users and surpassed 1 million Google search results. Users have reported profound comfort and a better understanding of theology. We Bible sparks discussions and concerns about AI in religious services. The team actively participates in church and AI related symposiums. Wow, great people. It's just like exploiting something that a lot of people are a little bit naive when it comes to religion. Again, that's all they've learned all their life. So when they have a chance to actually like get some interaction, right? Like imagine being able to, like, the first book in the Bible I ever read was Revelations. So think about if you could ask it questions about Revelation and just like have it interpreted all for. We didn't have this shit when I was growing up, bro. I'm here reading about the end of the world as a freaking 12-year-old kid. I'm like, oh my God, when is this coming? Right. And then my grandma being super religious, she's like, it's happening soon. Jesus is coming. And what, 20 something years later, I'm still here. Has he come yet? I don't know. I don't know. Will he
He
ever?
has come in AI form to answer all of your questions. This shit is gonna get wild, bro. Like, we're gonna be talking to freaking Superman. We're gonna be talking to like 100% fictionalized characters. They're gonna have a Batman AI. Like, it's gonna be insanity. We're gonna be talking to Metatron, Archangel Michael. Like, bro, it's gonna get nuts.
Yeah, but AI Jesus has been around for a minute because I remember when AI first came out. Shout out to Paranoid American. Paranoid American showed me the underbelly of like the AI, because the Chat GPT stuff, that's the tip of the iceberg. That's the for the regular folk, right? They want to log in, ask it a few questions. But there's like a dark web of AI. And think about it. It's like dudes who goon it to AI girlfriends turned up to 20. Okay. So there are the most heinous AI models. And this was months ago. This was like a year ago when he showed me this. There was a whole, it was like a Rip Jesus, like it was a strong Jesus AI bot. And it was like you could talk to him directly. And it told you about their personality and stuff like that because they were trained, these large language models, they're just trained on information. And now it's only gotten worse because they're able to expand from what they're being fed, and they can literally search websites. So they're being trained. Look at what was it? Meta just got hit with that one. I don't know if they got hit with a lawsuit, but they were using LibGen, and they took it down because they were using all the books on there to train their AI model. Because again, they're just reading information and processing it and pulling from the information it already has. And Meta got hit. Let me pull that up. Meta hit with I think a lawsuit.
Bro, I want my AI Jesus to have wings, singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner while I'm in the front row hammered drunk.
Here we go.
I
Right here.
want my AI Jesus to be.
Let's see. June 26th, the latest was Judge tosses. Let me pull this up on my screen. The latest was Judge tosses author's AI training copyright lawsuit against Meta. This was June 26th, so fairly recently. San Francisco, a federal judge sided with Facebook parent Meta Platforms in dismissing a copyright infringement lawsuit from a group of authors who accused the company of stealing their work to train its artificial intelligence technology. The Wednesday ruling in the U.S. District Judge Vince Cabria was second in a week from San Francisco's federal court to dismiss major copyright claims from book authors against the rapidly developing AI industry. So again, I know they were using a certain website that I believe is still down because I got a lot of my books out of it. And when it blew up with this whole meta thing, look, these products are expected to generate billions, even trillions of dollars for the companies that are developing them. If using copyrighted works to train the model is as necessary as the companies say, they will figure out a way to compensate copyright holders for it. I mean, they got a point. They got a point, I guess. But information is free once it's out there, because what's stopping you from copying and writing about a book that you read that was copyrighted, but then you wrote about it and they take the information from that person that read that book? Like, how does that work? Like, information is free. It should be free, right? So I don't know. Maybe that's why it got dismissed. But yeah, they were using LibGen for a while. Yikes. Where do you stand on that, bro? Do you think that they should pay for using those books or what?
I don't know. This is the first time that I've heard about this.
Really?
Yeah.
Here, so let's see. Let's look at Meta. LibGen. So Meta secretly trained its AI on a notorious piracy database, newly unredacted court docs review. This was back in January. So that it was a real big thing, bro. Because I remember Library Genesis LibGen got shut down, and I was like, fuck, because I got all my books from there. Like, you could get any book you want from that website. Now, I'm not saying go pirate stuff, right, people? Just pay for it, I guess, right? Stealing is bad. You don't want to keep feeding these giant corporations a monthly subscription every month, right? Whatever. But yeah, LibGen was real big, and I think it's still down. I haven't checked recently because I haven't really been reading all that much. But yeah, that's why it was so big, because I was like, fuck, they use LibGen and they got it shut down because of the heat. But they were using it to train their little AI golems, bro. Is Zuckerberg approved Meta's use of pirated books to train. Bro, you imagine just going to work and just downloading illegal books for your 8 hours of your job to pump it into some AI so it could learn about stuff? That was your job all day? Like, what's your boss? I'm just pirating some stuff all day long, bro. It's like, again, I think information should be free. But whatever. Who cares? Like, these large corporations are going to find a way to leverage it for their benefit, right? They always do the same shit over and over again. So it's about the bottom line and doesn't really matter. So I'm sure they had good lawyers defend them in that, right? They have billions of dollars. They can do that.
Well, pretty much any book that you find online, you can find a PDF of it.
That's what I'm saying.
You can just copy and paste it into the AI model. I mean, it's not.
Bro, I go to the movies for the experience. I don't go to the movies to watch a movie. I go to the movie for the experience of getting out of the house, going to the movies. And even that sometimes is too much, because you can literally find any movie you want. I mean, shit, I watched The Institute for free. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's all out there. And that's the issue with the internet, in part, where everything eventually will get leaked and it will be out there. And there's really nothing that they can do about it. And that was the whole thing, right? CERN created the internet to share information between scientists. And I think it got out of hand, because once they opened it up and made it public to the people, well, I was just watching a documentary the other day about like the early days of like these gore websites. You remember that? Where we grew up with like the wild, wild west of the internet, bro, where we saw the most heinous shit like as kids, right? And like, that's some of that stuff scarred us for life. Like, that shaped like our generation for I think a majority of it. Like, there are a bunch of videos, and people probably know what I'm talking about, that were just wild, and it was on the internet. And not recently, but a few years back, like, I think they shut down a lot of those gore sites. Like, they're not what they used. Make gore sites great again. Can we make that into a shirt? No, I'm just kidding. I don't like watching that shit.
Yeah, I remember growing up and watching a lot of like beheading videos and like weird and crazy shit, bro. Like, remember the Pain Olympics, dude?
The BME Pain Olympics, yeah, dude,
Mm.
yeah, that was that was rough. Like, again, we saw that shit when we were kids. I was probably like 12 years old when I saw that video, right?
But it's almost like a desensis desensitization
Yes.
of the youth, right?
That's why on Meta, or not Meta, X, for a while, it was a lot of like snuff and gore videos for like for a minute on my Meta and on my X, and I had to put a filter to stop showing me shit like that. Cause like nowadays I don't enjoy seeing that, but there's some people who get off on that sort of stuff. Like, dude, do you want to check this guy getting put in a fucking lathe, bro? He gets snapped in half. Check this out. I was like, that can be good for your soul, bro, to watch somebody just die on camera like that. That's not it's not cool, man. So like I don't really enjoy watching that stuff anymore. And not that I did back then, but shit, dude. There was some rough
Well,
ones.
well, now it's like all fights, right? Now it's like, you know, kids fighting, adults fighting, like confrontation. Like it's like now all over X and
You got people
Instagram.
shooting each
Facebook.
other, bro. On
Yeah,
like
shootings and stuff like that. Now it's evolved into that. But violence has gone up, but the rating systems have like gone down. So like, you know, back whenever we were growing up, a a rated R movie is now a PG-13 movie.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. I said that.
Now, like rated R movies, like is like over the top. Like you got like what's that Art the Clown movie, whatever the name of that movie is, the horror movie, which is just like gore horror like the whole time.
The one that was making people scream in the theaters, like freak out, have like psychotic breaks in the theater. That one?
It's the clown movie. I forget what the name of it is. Art the
Yeah, no.
Clown.
I think I know what you're talking about. But no, I said this because for a while I forgot which movie or which series it was. Shit, even like Game of Thrones was pretty like gory and stuff in some parts. Like
Terrifier is one of
Terrifier. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that one. That one was making people freak out. Theater breakdown. So see, walkouts and vomiting, bro. The theater told me the first screening had 2 people walk out. The second screening had half the theater leave. Like it was so bad that like Terrifier 3 is so gruesome. People are throwing up and walking out of theaters. Director Damien Leone says the film delivered the goods. Like it is this sort of stuff how you're saying, right? Conditioning people. We can talk about that where it's like making people ready for something, right? Like as people like to say. I don't think so because I think movies have been around for a long time. I just finished watching. I was gonna when you were talking about the precognition and seeing the future and all this gay shit. I just finished watching the newest Destination. Is it 5 or some shit?
yeah,
7, 8,
Final Destination 5, yeah.
5 Bloodlines. That movie, bro. Like we grew up with movies like that where Final Destination 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever it was like crazy deaths of people. And like we saw that and that didn't really bother us. And I just finished watching the newest one. Thought it was corny, right? It's overdone. You can there's I mean, there is like 1,000 ways to die, so I guess they could keep making the movie and get away with it. And I think that they're gonna be making another one after this one. So again, we grew up with those kind of movies. Destination. What's another one that we grew up with? Scream, right?
Saw Saw franchise.
Saw. What's another good one that's like gory? Saw definitely is up there because the thing about these movies is that they like force you to watch, right? That's the hardest part where you have to sit there and watch the slow whatever it is that they have to put into their arm or their eye or whatever it is. Like that's the part that really gets me sometimes. But the thing about a movie is you know it's fake. When you're watching these other videos online, there's something about it being real that messes with you psychologically. Right. And I remember seeing a lot of the Al Qaeda videos. I'm gonna be honest. the quality was on point. It was so on point that it looked fake. So those didn't bother me too much, right? Because it looked too good. It looked too Hollywood. And it probably was Hollywood, right? Because like looking back at Kubrick and a lot of these three-letter agencies, who's to say they weren't funding that to put out this message of like, hey, we have to stop these people. We can't have them we can't let them have enriched uranium. Was that the latest one? Weapons of mass destruction. Sound familiar? Same narrative, same shit, different day. So again, I don't enjoy watching the gore stuff, but it's there, and we grew up with it, bro.
The Hostel franchise, that's
Hostel,
another one.
Human Centipede. There's a bunch of other like banned movies that are heinous, that are fucked up, right? The Siberian Film,
Green Inferno by Eli Roth.
Green Inferno. Was Cannibal Holocaust one of them, or is that a band?
That
I want
one's
to say
banned, I'm pretty sure.
Cannibal Holocaust.
I think that was a snuff film, wasn't it?
No, that was a movie. That was a movie. Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust was the one where they took the director to court because they thought the people had actually died on film. They made the actors come out and testify in court that they were still alive. That's how bad that movie was.
Mhm.
But you watch it nowadays and it's not bad. Like it's not too bad. But imagine that, bro, when it came out, this movie came out in 1980. Imagine people watching it by then, like, damn, these people are really dying on film. Like, this is real. Nick Cage, the movie 9mm. Have you ever seen that movie with Nick Cage? Daddy Nick Cage?
I probably should. I feel like I've seen almost every Nick Cage movie, but it's not ringing a bell. When did it come out?
I don't know exactly when it came out. It's a while ago, but he is this guy, a cop who finds this underground film industry, and he tries to get to the bottom of a particular film that they found, trying to verify if it was real or not. And it's about snuff films. Again, it's like this creepy pasta type of shit where it turns out to be real. I think these things are real. And I think that heinous things happen every day. And I'm sure, all the technology we have, someone's not recording it. Like, come on. You got to be naive if you don't think that. But yeah, 9mm. Are rituals real? I'm sure they are. Do they make a difference in reality? That's the conspiracy. If I fucking do some ritual, like a Freemasonic ritual, will I get a ton of riches or do whatever? That's the conspiracy. Rituals are real. As to if they have an effect on reality, that's the conspiracy. That's what people argue about. Does it work or not?
Yeah, that's the contention, is what exactly is it doing? What is the
Exactly.
ritual actually for? Is it just for show? Is it for entertainment?
Yeah, remember what
Are they doing it and then sitting back and then being like, "Oh, let's see how many people make dumbass freaking YouTube videos over this stupid bullshit."
I know, dude. Like I watch it, I'm like, like I cringe. But yeah, like the whole stuff that they were doing at the Bohemian Grove, they were out there. And who was it? Richard Nixon that said that one thing about it? Was it Richard Nixon, or who was it that was like, that was the most
Was that when Alex Jones infiltrated and started filming?
no, Richard Nixon wasn't around then. Richard Nixon quote about Bohemian Grove. Was it Richard Nixon? Here, let me see who was the one that said this. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I think it was him that said this. Not like this though. I don't remember it being like this though. But he did. I think he did say this. I think that's what he said. Something along those lines. So again, it was a bunch of dudes running around naked in the woods in front of an owl doing some sort of ritual. I think that was real. As to what they were trying to achieve by doing that, I don't know. Right? That's the whole conspiracy. But I'm pretty sure it was Richard Nixon. Yeah.
That's the thing about the occult and like the esoteric. Like people want to put their own meaning on it and make it mean something that it's not, when it can just be a bunch of people just screwing around.
No, 100%. Like again, and again, it goes back to religion where it's like you go every Sunday, you think you're making a change in your life, which is fine for people because they believe they are. Again, that's a sort of like self hypnosis type of thing. It's like you got your own therapy going on, which is fine. I'm not saying that's bad. Uh, but it can get weird. I mean, I think it was in Korea, bro. There was a dude who was talking about being Jesus Christ.
First, how many people have claimed that they're Jesus Christ reincarnated or that they were Jesus Christ in a past life? We should have all been saved by now, bro.
Yeah. So let's see
Should have
here.
been
What year was
saved.
this? So 1984. A pseudo religion or cult teaching claim their founder Lee is the pastor. The pastor promised in the New Testament, the Book of Revelation. Oh, right here. Yeah, this is the people. I think. Oh, let me pull up the wiki page. Speaking of cults, right here in 2020. So the Shin Niji's teaching claims that their founder Lee is the pastor promised in the New Testament, and the Book of Revelation is written in secret metaphors, parables, of course, which only Lee is capable of deciphering. Sound familiar with Joseph Smith? Only he could read the Golden Tablets. Before founding his own religious movement, Lee was a member of a controversial group called the Olive Tree, a new religious movement which spawned the first counter cult movement in post-war Korea. Although this connection is not present in this guy's biography, where is it? They teaches it is the true faith with its members receiving salvation at the last judgment. Everyone not in the group will be denied forgiveness and destroyed. In 2020, the group became the center of intense scrutiny during the COVID-19 pandemic. The outbreak of COVID cases in Korea was initially centered in Daegu after a 61-year-old member known as Patient 31 infected other church members, causing the pandemic to surge in the city. So these dudes were still meeting around the pandemic and they just spread it to each other, and they caused a surge. As the disease spread among the members and thousands of others, there was a national outcry against the group. And by February 22nd, 2020, over 1.3 million South Korean citizens signed an online petition to the Blue House requesting the government to disband the church entirely. On August 12, 2022, the Supreme Court of Korea upheld the acquittal of Lee Man-hee on charges that he obstructed the government's response to the outbreak in 2020.
This was a setup, bro. This was a setup. They wanted to disband Jesus.
It is,
Disband
bro.
Jesus.
Anyways, this was in Korea. These are probably the people behind this Jesus AI thing. So as soon as I saw Korea, I was like, yikes.
Instead of crucifying Jesus, this time we're going to prosecute him. We're going to prosecute him into oblivion.
Yeah, bro. This is bad.
Get him wrapped up in the legal system. Take this shit to the Supreme Court, bro. Supreme Court of Korea.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of people throughout history that have talked about being the true Messiah and the last one and blah, blah, blah. Nothing's happened yet, so see where it goes from here.
Yeah, Heaven's Gate Call said the exact same thing. Dave Grush said the exact same thing, that he was the only one that can decipher the Bible, and he's the only one that has the
David Grush or Koresh?
David Koresh.
The one with the compound where they had the...
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Very similar to David Grush.
Yeah,
David
I thought it was...
Grush.
Yeah, I thought you meant the UFO guy. I was like, that's wild if you said that.
No, but he was the one that could only decipher the seven seals to bring about the end, the Book of Revelation, to unlock the seven seals. Yeah, it's the same shit. It's the same shit, just repeated over and over again.
Someone said smash or pass Kim Jong Un. What would you smash or pass, bro?
Little Kim Jong Un booty. Does he have the bass? Does he have the bass?
I don't think so,
Does he
bro.
have the bass in his voice?
You know they believe that he doesn't have a butthole. You know that's a belief, right?
Why? Why do they believe that?
Well, that's just what they're brought up. Like, do you know the mythology behind like Korea and all of its dictators? You know, they have like a mythology behind every one of them, like in Severance, where they were like riding on a horse and all that.
That they fed the public to believe in. Yeah.
Yeah. So they believe that he doesn't poop and that his dad or his grandpa or something rode in on like a unicorn and shit. Bro, it's wild. And by the way, have you seen Death of a Unicorn?
No.
Bro, watch that movie, please. Holy shit. Watch Death of a Unicorn. It just came. It was A24, right? A24. Shout out to A24 because they always make these cursed movies. But yeah, watch Death of a Unicorn, bro.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyone listening, go watch Death of a Unicorn. It's pretty funny. I enjoyed it.
Well, I gotta wrap this up. My freaking chair is sinking because it's broken, and I'm constantly going down. I'm
good,
constantly fading. See, I'm getting shorter and shorter and shorter. The mic is getting higher.
You spent all your money on a mic, so you can't buy a chair now. So people have to watch you just slowly sink throughout the whole entirety of the podcast.
All my money on a mic and a new board, and apparently everybody's telling me my audio is still shit. So I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what you want from me, guys.
All good, bro. This is fun, man.
What do you want from me?
We'll do it again here soon next month and talk about some other shit. Maybe I'll finish the show by then and we can talk about the show some more.
That sounds good, bro. Can you let people on my channel know where to find you, even though you're doing real life shit and there's not too much coming out from you on the base? So, but still let them know where to find you.
Yeah, soon enough, I'll be back doing the Thursday night streams with Narco Longo. I've been playing a lot of New World, so shout out to the Blunder Bussy crew. And you can find me over on www.tjojp.com. And yeah, but I'll be back soon here in a little bit. But yeah, bro, this is fun.
Something wrong with a bussy.
The Blunder Bussy crew.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here. If you want to know where to find me, if you're listening on Juan's channel, you can find me on Raised by Giants on any and all podcast platforms and also YouTube. Thanks for being here, everyone. Really appreciate it. And before I fade all the way down to where the mic is touching me on my head, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button to help the channel in the algorithm. Sure, subscribe with the bell icon as well for notifications. And we'll see you guys next time.
Can I get a...